Whoa, this is the Illusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. I'm out here working on building my Lego universe. All right, man, it's that thing. Like, what's it all about? Right, today's all it's all about. Today's all it's about. So for some reason on my feed, on my YouTube feed, all of a sudden a bunch of weird, like, nuclear war movies started showing up on my feed this morning. And the first one was a 1955 movie about Portland, Oregon. And they'd made this movie called Bomb X or something, and it's about Portland, Oregon going through the preparedness of a nuclear bomb coming in 1955. And they leave it at the end like, we don't know whether it's all about evacuating the city, the whole thing. It's crazy. So I just stumbled onto it just because I was like, wow, that's trippy. And, it's all about how like Portland comes together and the whole thing. And it's just, what a juxtaposition with modern Oregon right now. And so I kind of watched that for a minute and whatever. And then the creepiest movie of all time showed up on my feed. And for those of us who are older, we know this. And for those of us who are younger, you may not understand this. So in 1983, on primetime television, they released a movie called The Day After. And there was another movie that was in competition at the same time called Threads. And both of these movies were about mutually assured destruction. And when I grew up as a child, mutually assured destruction was basically that the Soviet Union and the United States were going to go into a full-scale nuclear war, and everyone was going to die, and there was going to be a nuclear winter, and just doomsday stuff, right? So I grew up with that as like the child abuse that was inflicted upon me as a human being. And so today I've checked out Threads a number of times. If you want to see the scariest movie of all time, watch Threads. So but the Day After was always sort of like, I don't know, kind of Hollywood. The Threads was made in the UK, so it was pretty gritty, which made it even creepier. But I hadn't watched The Day After in 30 some years. Since made in 1983. So in 1983, I was 14. This was on primetime television. It was like a big deal, dude. Like, this movie came out, It's primetime. There's only like the 3 networks. Like, you had to watch it. So it's got a bunch of stars at the time in it. Like, it's got like a pretty star-studded cast. So I clicked on it today and I kind of fast forwarded it to they set it all up. They spent like the first, 45 minutes in like regular life. And then the missiles start launching and the bombs start exploding. And dude, I tell you what, man, that movie still scares me, dude. It scares me more now than it did when I was young. Cause I have children, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm realizing what a deep impact the psychological warfare of my youth was upon me. Like, growing up with that constant drumbeat of mutually assured destruction, right? That's all faded, but there's still nuclear weapons all over the planet, supposedly, terrorists and madness and all of that stuff. And it just made me want to go hug my family, and that's what I did. And I got real focused and real present on today. Because as I tap into this societally manufactured fear, right? Like if you're younger, dude, like if you're in your 20s or 30s, you don't live in the mutually assured destruction mind frame. You live in a 9/11 mind frame. You live in the terrorists are coming to get us. They're going to blow up the airplanes. Biological weapons, that whole rigmarole. And so I've been really like aware, and it's child abuse. And so I was watching some stuff about, opening schools, and they were making a case for like how like that's child abuse, how they're treating some of these plans they have for reopening the schools with putting kids in like little things with their masks on, and you're gonna kill granny if you play with your friends. I saw this film and I tapped into how it made me feel, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like everybody's just signing up on this child abuse thing of what this is going to do to this next generation of children. And due to us being alternative people, basically hippies, like we've raised our boy a little free of this nonsense, like we're very open and upfront when we talk to him, so he isn't in the fear paradigm. But yet I see this perpetuating out in our society, and I'm like, where's my generation that grew up with this nonsense on prime time, like speaking up, like, hey, we've been through this before. Like my generation has been here before. We were fed this fear. And where am my parents' generation speaking up, because they grew up on the fear too. And maybe that's why we have this weird thing going on where that generation truly is horrified, because their entire life, if you're a baby boomer, your entire life started like the end of World War II, and it's just been one fear to the next their entire lives. And I suppose at a certain point, for me as an evolving human being, I've broken free of the fear, but it's still inserted into my thing. It's just, they're not going to get me with any new fear. That's why, like, I'll sit here and tell you all day long, I look into the numbers, dude, this is manufactured fear. This coof thing is a con job. I mean, even Italy's like, they're like, whatever, dude. And they got slammed, right? And I look into the numbers, and you can look into the numbers yourself, dude. This is a scam to get everyone afraid. But you see this, you see that nobody is being an adult here who's been through all this before. Where is the baby boomers to call BS on all of this and be like, we've been through all of this before. We all lived through mutually assured destruction, dude. The Russians are still coming to get us, dude. How crazy. There was the movie they made, The Russians Are Coming. The Russians are coming. I just tapped into the fear for a moment watching this movie, and it was horrifying, because I'll put the link down to the movie down below, and you can watch it yourself. I'll put threads in the day after, and you can see what we were subjected to in 1983 as teenagers, right? I got a teenager, 15, dude. The thin veneer of society, and yet I watched this film, right? I'm watching the apocalypse part of it, and I'm like, does anyone understand how fragile it all is? All of it, man. How fragile it all is. And that we have to, so we're the living reminders, right? That we don't have to live like this. We don't have to live in fear. I mean, I'm in my garage, dude. I got cabinets full of food. Like, I'm ready for it all to, like, I think it's just, I was watching this film again and they're filling up their basement. Dude, my entire life, it's been like, fill up your garage and basement with emergency supplies. You're crazy if you're a prepper. You're crazy if you're not prepping. Be prepared. You know, it's the whole airplane mentality of, you know, put your head between your knees, dude. But that's, you know that that's designed to like instantly like eliminate you if there was ever an airplane crash, because the seats will all, anyway, don't want to get grim, but we've been convinced to kill ourselves, I guess is what I'm getting at. Convinced to kill ourselves with fear. And I went and I just explored it for a little bit today. And I'm not afraid, because I'm fully aware of that this is a manipulation, that this is psychological warfare, that this is not about sanity. This is about insanity. And this is convincing everybody. But again, what I don't understand is I can't be the only one who sees this, who can reflect on his own childhood and been like, my entire childhood was mad, mutually assured destruction, dude. And where are all the adults that were there when I was a child going, we've been through all this before. We've been lied to our entire lives. Why aren't the baby boomers calling bullshit on all of this? Because they've been lied to for what, 70 years at every turn. At every turn they've been lied to and manipulated. And so they're going to buy into this one at the final buzzer. I just don't get. I see a lot of these. I see a lot of them out there. They ain't playing. They ain't wearing masks. They're like, dude, this is BS. We've been through this before. But I see so many of them are like, ah. And I'm like, what are you doing to our grandchildren and our children, dude? Why are we going to raise our children in the fear paradigm? It's forever jacked me up, dude. Like it's always in there, that mutually assured destruction mentality. Like, I went and checked it out today, dude. It's unsettling, man. It's not a good feeling, dude. Because they were real good at making it like that. And as far as I know, all those same weapons are still on the ground, waiting to pop off. So I don't know, man. I just trying to scare anyone or do anything. I'm just trying to break the spell, dude, that like my entire life, I've been told that we're going to die, and all of us are going to die instantly, dude. Mutually assured destruction, war with this, war with that. I mean, I grew up when there was the gas embargo stuff. I remember odd, even license plates, all that stuff, man. We were going to die from global cooling, global warming. The planet's going to die, dude. My entire life, beginning in college, is the planet is going to die. That the planet's going to die. The planet's dying tomorrow, 10 years. Here I am, 50. When I was in my 20s, I was convinced that we only had years to live, dude. The propaganda was so hectic in college. See, we had Y2K, the computers are going to short, the turn of the century, we're all going to die. 2112, 9/11, dude. Saddam Hussein's coming to kill us all, dude. The Muslims are coming to kill us all, dude. The only thing that I can truly say that's been coming to kill us all is mainstream media. The only villains in the room I can see right now is television and newscasters. And at this stage of the game, as far as I'm concerned, newscasters and college educators ought to be brought up on crimes against humanity for abusing children, child abuse. This is all a child abuse program, dude. All these people that work in these public health arenas that have manipulated science for their agenda should be held up on tribunals for child abuse, massive levels of child abuse. This is child abuse is what's going on. You want to argue about like the seniors and all that. Like, yeah, I get it, man. They're highly at risk, but that's part of being old too. But abusing the children the way that the children are being abused is criminal, man. And children shouldn't have to grow up in fear. I grew up in that fear. There was always something to be like afraid of, dude. And somehow I rallied through that and became a free thinker, dude. I mean, I credited it with this one teacher I had in junior college who broke the spell with the word usage and propaganda and was very, very helpful in me breaking free of the paradigm of the thought manipulation, dude. Look, it's all Edward Bernays. It's all ad agencies. People should be brought up on crimes against humanity charges too. I don't know, man. But I took a look at it today of my own childhood engineering, dude. Mutually assured destruction, dude. That's what it was when I was a kid. It wasn't, the COOF wasn't coming to get you. The Russian nuclear bombs were coming to get you with their nuclear winter, and we're all going to die, dude. And you're not going to be able to grow any crops. So here we are, man. Here we are my entire life. And I'm not feeding that to my son, dude. I'm not feeding the fear to my son. I'm not telling him we're like, it's funny. They try, dude. They're definitely working on it. It's definitely seeping in the insanity, dude. But one thing that we do properly in our household is we don't have a television. We don't have some big screen telling us that we're all going to die on our walls. Yeah, we got little screens we hold in our hands that do that. But you know what? It's not the focal point of our household. Right now, Owl and his mom are making a map of a city and drawing trucks and buildings and stuff. And I'm out here in my garage working on my Lego city so I can build a church, right? So I can turn this Harry Potter cathedral of black magic into a house of God. And I'm building a grassy knoll to put it on. And I don't know, man. We have to break the cycle, man. We have to get free of this manipulation, man. We have to hold these people accountable, dude. I don't know how we get out of it, but again, the answer always starts with us. We have to be the first person to free ourselves, right? And God's given us all the tools to do it. All the clues are there. So the link's down below, man. 1983 Threads and the day after, man. Just watch that and see what kind of mainstream propaganda was shoved down my throat as a child, shoved down everybody's throat as a society, dude. And you wonder why everybody's all spun out, dude. Most people have been raised on a diet of fear in this country, dude. Anyway, this is The Illusion signing off. Free yourself from the fear, man. We are the living reminders. No new normal, society. Get some.